I was sitting back and prepping for the show. I run across this video. I wasn't looking for it. It just jumped out. Like one of those snakes. Your mom said, if it was a snake, it would have bit you. Well, I got bit by this snake. Andrew Scholes, who interviewed Donald Trump on his podcast. Him and Charlamagne have a podcast. Listen to Charlamagne. Suddenly be able to see the light.
Leaving the country with a little war before he walk out.
You saw that? Why would he try to do this? Why would he give long-range missiles to Ukraine right before he leaves?
And Putin said he ready for nuclear war.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. But Chris, you don't got
You think
nothing
he would
to say
nuke
about
Trump's
that.
America?
Yo, why don't you talk about your Dems trying to blow up the whole world and trying to start a nuclear holocaust? Why don't you talk about that ever? You don't. Oh, my 76ers are 2-9. Oh, you know who else is 2-9? Ukraine.
Well, they're about to be 2-80 at the end.
Chris, that's not Chris. We can't joke around about these things on Brilliant Idiots.
Well,
Political pundit
he's got
podcast.
a point. Why did Biden do that, though? Why did Biden agree to supply Ukraine with anti-personnel
so they could over the goat
mines? No, that's new. I'll say it again now, and even though somebody will take this and take it out of context and say, "Oh, see, Charlamagne's MAGA now," I don't think there'll be any wars of that magnitude with Trump in office because of the fact. No, but listen,
can we just fist bump on that? Can we get anti-war?
Well, let me explain why. Anti-war, definitely. See what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. All right. If you paid any attention, you know the Democratic Party are the warmongers. You would have already known that. Part of my argument with saying that Kamala Harris is the greater evil is because of the Democrats' stance on war. They're what the Republicans used to be about 20 years ago. Back under Bush, that's what they are now. They're the party of war. Both parties are the party of war. Trump is the president that didn't bring us into any new wars. So for you to be a political pundit that goes on CNN and MSNBC and invited on tour with the vice president and does all this other stuff and not know basics, that's the basic, one of the most strong, most deliberate, most sound arguments against Kamala Harris and Joe Biden is World War III. Now, we got people that don't believe that that'll happen, you know, so okay, fine. They got their heads in the sand. There was like anybody with common sense, if you push this argument to them, and I say, hey, and I have, they have no response. They start talking about women's right to have abortions. They've actually been on a panel with Black people. And it was like all stacked with a bunch of Kamala supporters. When I brought this issue up, they wanted to talk about women's reproductive rights for 20 minutes. And then talk about some woman dying in the car of something for having to travel, some horrible, and want to attribute that. Like, I'm not even a Trump supporter. What are you doing? I just don't like Kamala. But when I brought up the war issue, they skipped over it, as if the war doesn't kill obviously lots more people, because that's what wars do. And if we're talking about the nuclear version, we're talking about a whole lot of death. And that was fine. But you should have saw how they reacted to me not being so taken aback by this person about the abortion issue. I tend to believe World War III is a more driving force, particularly when there are some states that haven't really changed their abortion laws all that much. So anyway, the point is this. Charlamagne Tha God, they put this guy up as a political commentator. He didn't know the first thing about it. And maybe he does. Maybe this is just camouflage for him to start moving out of the realm of stupid, because it's what's going to benefit him. Because believe this, guys, the people that were bold enough to stand against this nonsense that the Democrats were doing and not be invited places, not be able to have fancy guests, Those of us that were willing to do that, who lost opportunities over the last 4 years, I'm not going to say you're going to get new opportunities because you're not, may not be in the right position. But you were right. You were right. And you will have bragging rights. But Charlamagne Tha God, who's been in a position where he could have been right, has been so wrong. Here's the same guy trying. Look, if you say you realize that Trump is not trying to get us into more wars, and that Biden, which Kamala is still part of his administration, you realize that. You realize that. What's she doing to prevent it? Is she going rogue? Like they say everybody should have done under Trump? Everybody should go rogue and stab Trump in the back? That was the whole argument for the last, while Trump was in office, everyone was saying how Republicans needed to go ballistic on Trump. And if they didn't love their country. What about all the Democrats not going ballistic about what's happening right now with Biden in Ukraine? Hey, where's it at? Where are all the people that should be saying something about that who aren't saying anything about it? That's why I don't take any of them seriously, guys. They're a bunch of hacks and they're a bunch of liars, guys. That is all they are. I wish it wasn't that way. It is what they are. Name a commentator that calls themselves progressive or calls themselves liberal or Democrat or whatever. Those folks, if they're not calling out what's going on with Biden in the Ukraine, if they ain't calling that out, if they're not yelling at the Democrats loudly and saying, hey, get somebody, go grab Joe. Get him. It said they're applauding Kamala taking time off. They're applauding her taking time off at a time when we are poking the bear. And I mean literally the Russian bear. Literally poking the Russian bear towards World War III. And meanwhile, she's in Hawaii or some shit. Just like I told you. So when she could have been doing something like right now, she's not. And don't tell me she worked so hard on the campaign. I work hard too. And what am I doing? Working, still, working hard. What's she doing? Anyway, back to Charlamagne Tha God, man. I'm not impressed with this, but I'll say this. It's good to see you finally come around to some realization. It's just pathetic as hell that you got to go on all these platforms and then come around sooner and say the real shit. Instead, you run around chasing behind Angela Rye, who's been wrong about everything and will continue to be wrong about everything. You're not her. You're not going to be able to cry your way out of it. You're not going to be able to put on a dress and cry and pretend like your feelings are hurt and somebody give you a break. Because that's her go-to method, and it seems to work for her. You're not going to be so lucky, sir. If you didn't have iHeart propping you up, you'd be gone too. You know? They're going to say MAGA, I'm telling MAGA. Why do you care what they say? You don't care what I say. Why would you care what these morons say? Why, you need to go pick up some more Democratic money? Why would you give a shit? Why can't anybody just be ethical and just say what needs to be said? Why you gotta live in a world of a bunch of cowards? They're gonna call me MAGA. So what? If I'm worried about people calling me MAGA, I'd still be hanging with the same cornballs I was hanging with. Bunch of anti-black half-stepping BSers. If you ain't gonna stand up for Palestinians, you ain't gonna stand up against World War III, damn sure ain't gonna stand up for black folks in America. Because everything I named is different, but they all will cost you something. They all will cost you something. And that's the thing, guys. It's real quick to tell what people are about. All you got to see is what cost they're willing to pay. Got to pay the cost to be the boss. A lot of them don't want to pay anything. And it's fine, guys. They're just corporate hacks. It's fine to be a corporate hack, man. I get it. You just in it for the dollar bill. I get it. I understand it. Well, my job is to call you out. You keep doing what you do. I keep doing what I do. That's the ecosystem. You continue to be a hack, Charlamagne. We'll see. Another 4 years from now, we'll see what you'll be doing. We'll see what you do. Right now, it's convenient for you to stop being honest and truthful. Now, because your person lost. That person, you were going around the country lying to people saying she was great. Why aren't you worried about the impending doom of having this fascist president, this Hitler, as you were calling it? The last days of the election, Charlamagne was throwing everything against the wall, him and Angela Rye, or any network on Ari Melber's show. In particular, I saw him on a couple of others, doing everything he could to say how it's going to be the end of American democracy if Trump is elected. Now that Trump's elected, what is he doing? He's laughing it up. He's teeing with Andrew Schultz on the Brilliant Idiot Show, as if nothing's wrong. Does he look like he's worried he's gonna be thrown in a concentration camp? Really? That's what it looks like to you? And we got a bunch of, it's sad, man. The state of our media is so bad, folks. It's pathetic. We have what's supposed to be a robust independent media. Black independent media is garbage too, most of it. 90% of it is garbage. They are. They'll tell black people what they want to hear instead of telling the truth. And they don't want to bump up against the wrong black influencers, the wrong popular black folks. They're afraid. I mean, I'm not saying anything that's all that controversial. It's just truth. These people have been running around lying for years, running around gaslighting people, running around playing on the emotions. 92% of black women voted for Kamala Harris. They shouldn't have. That's a failure to communicate. That's what that is. All the money that was given to this woman for no damn reason other than an exercise. And all those women, I wonder how many of those black women have children who they would like to see grow up and not be killed in nuclear war. Probably all of them, right? Why would they support a party that does? That's down for poking the bear. See what I'm saying? Don't make sense. So either you're delusional, you don't believe that nothing bad can happen, that will never come to pass. Okay, fine. Why do you think that Trump is going to be Hitler and bring back slavery and all this other bullshit then? You believe that, though. You believe that more than you believe a pissed off Putin who you've been vilifying, who they've been vilifying for the last 30 years? You don't believe he'll push a button? But you believe that every safeguard in America will break down. And Trump will turn back the clock and we'll go back to the times of Jim Crow. That seems feasible though, don't it? To you. Bullshit logic. Don't make any sense. So now what's going to happen? This is a season of everybody having an epiphany. Everybody having a coming to Christ moment. Everybody realizing, oh my God, the Democrats suck. What about people that knew it already? I'm just saying, shouldn't there be like a period of reconciliation, a period of demotion? Shouldn't some of these people have to go? I mean, if they've been calling this election this wrong, if they've been calling the state of the Democratic Party wrong all this time, and they're independent, or they're not, shouldn't there be some type of comeuppance for them? I mean, I think I could give a scathing rant, but Jesus Christ, should more happen? Shouldn't their base of supporters and viewers be like, this guy's full of crap. This guy didn't know anything. He was part of it. And if he did know, that's even worse. And if he didn't know, that's horrible too, because that means he was running his mouth not knowing shit. He was willing to just say whatever someone told him, which has been Charlamagne Tha God's explanation, They lied to him. Everyone lied to him. They weren't being honest with him. You shouldn't have to worry about that. People lying to you as far as that shouldn't have worked if that's true, because you should have been checking your sources and doing more investigation. You shouldn't just go up and say whatever somebody whispers in your ear. You should be doing the damn work if you're going to go in front of people so they don't take what they do seriously. If you can be so fooled and people can just tell you what to say out your mouth on TV to the world, and you really not know what the hell you're talking about, that's on you too. It's on you more than it's on them, because you're the dummy saying it. So you dumb for not knowing, you dumb for not checking, and now you are hypocritical enough to come out here and say opposite shit on opposite day, as if none of that took place. And you and Andrew Schultz can hear about it. I got a feeling there were a few women that gave them money who shouldn't have, who really couldn't afford to. Listen to your goofy ass. And that's on them in a way. Trusting you. I mean, you got to be pretty dumb to do that, but people do dumb things. I did dumb things when I trusted Obama. Anyway, now is a good time for them to all come to their senses. Everybody now realizes that they made mistakes.
Join the Tim Black Show live Sunday through Friday right here on YouTube. Don't miss it. See you there. Wolfpack.